She walked under a red and broken sky. Her armor was scratched, her blade dull, but her eyes were still sharp. She was the last warrior of her people. For years she had fought a losing war. Her world had burned. Cities turned to ash. Families vanished into silence. And when the smoke cleared, only she remained. A single survivor. A ghost wandering ruins that once held laughter. Her name was lost to history, buried in the dust of forgotten battles. Even she did not speak it anymore. She was simply the warrior. The last of her kind. Every night she stared at the stars. They were cold, distant, silent. She believed she was alone in the universe. No one left to hear her voice. No one left to fight beside her. Only enemies. Only shadows. But then, one night, something changed. Her ship, a small, battered craft she had stolen long ago, picked up a signal. It was weak, soft, almost like a whisper through the void. Not a threat, not a weapon, a voice. At first she thought it was a trick. The enemy sometimes played false signals, luring survivors into traps. She almost destroyed the message without listening. But something inside her, something old and human-like, made her pause. The signal repeated. Words. Strange words. Not her language. But the tone. It was calm, curious, alive. Her heart, hardened by years of war, skipped a beat. Could it be? Was someone else out there? Someone who was not an enemy? She leaned closer to the console, claws tapping on the metal. She ran the voice through her translator. The words came out broken, but clear enough. This is the United Earth Expedition. We come in peace. We search for friends among the stars. If you can hear us, you are not alone. Not alone. The words stabbed into her like a blade, but not of pain. Of memory, of longing. How many times had she dreamed of hearing those words? How many nights had she whispered to herself that someone, somewhere, must still exist? But she was no fool. She tightened her armor straps and gripped her weapon. Peace, she whispered bitterly. There is no peace in this galaxy. Only death, still. Her eyes locked on the faint blinking light on her scanner. The signal came from a nearby star system. Small ship. Slow engine. Vulnerable. She could ignore it. Keep drifting alone in the dark, or she could find out. Her hands moved on their own, setting a course. Her ship shuddered and groaned, like an old beast forced to run again. She did not know why she chose to follow. Perhaps she wanted proof. Proof that peace was a lie. Proof that kindness no longer existed. Proof that she truly was alone. Hours later she arrived. The human ship floated against the black sea of stars. It was nothing like her people's warships. It looked fragile, soft, almost welcoming. Lights glowed along its sides like lanterns in the night. Through her scope, she saw figures moving inside. Tall, thin, different from her. They looked weak. Too weak for this cruel galaxy, she hissed softly. Fools, you will not survive. Her claws hovered over the weapon controls. She could fire now. Destroy them before they noticed her. That was the safe choice. The smart choice, but something stopped her finger. She remembered the voice. If you can hear us, you are not alone. Her chest tightened. Alone. That word had hunted her for years. And now, strangers spoke against it. Her ship drifted closer. She activated stealth mode, watching them unseen. The humans were busy scanning planets, studying rocks, sending out harmless probes. They were explorers, not warriors. She laughed bitterly. Explorers? In this galaxy? You will die within days. Yet she kept watching. She did not know why. Hours passed, and still she did not fire. Something in her refused. Then it happened. One of the humans looked out the window. Directly at her, she froze. Impossible. Her ship was cloaked, hidden, but his eyes. They seemed to pierce the shadows, and then slowly he raised a hand. Not a weapon. A gesture. A greeting. Her heart pounded. She had seen many things in war. Blood, fire, betrayal. But she had not seen this in years. A stranger offering peace without fear. She felt her grip on the weapon tremble. She could end it all, one shot. Silence again, or she could answer. The silence stretched like a blade between them. Her breath came heavy. Her instinct screamed, destroy them, survive. But her heart whispered, wait, listen. The human's hand remained steady, his eyes calm. And in that moment she realized something terrifying. For the first time in years, she did not feel like the last of her kind. The console beeped. The human ship was sending a direct message to her. Her claws hovered above the comm switch. Her eyes narrowed. Her voice was a whisper broken with fear and hope. Not alone? The stars outside seemed to hold their breath, and then with a deep breath she pressed the button. The voice from the human ship still echoed in her ears. We see you. We want to talk. She sat frozen in the cockpit of her battered craft. Her claws gripped the controls, her blade resting by her side. For years, every sound she had heard in space had been one thing: an enemy signal, a call for blood, a warning of death. But this voice was different. Calm, patient. Not like the enemy who had burned her people away. Her instincts screamed, trap, always a trap. But her heart, small and buried under layers of scars, whispered something she had not felt in so long: hope. She pressed the comm switch again, but no words came. Her throat was dry, her breath uneven. What would she even say? She had not spoken to anyone in years. She had forgotten how her own language sounded. The humans did not attack. They did not chase her. They only waited. After long moments, the message came again. A new voice this time, female, soft but steady. Unknown vessel, we mean no harm. If you can hear us, we ask only for peace. We are explorers. We search for life, for friends. That word struck her like a blade. Once, long ago, she had friends. Warriors who fought beside her, who laughed in the face of death, who swore they would stand together until the end. But the end had come too soon. Now only she remained. She growled low, shaking her head. There are no friends in this galaxy, only graves. Her ship drifted closer, almost against her will. She wanted to see them with her own eyes. She wanted to measure these humans, to test if they were as foolish as they sounded. Through the viewport, she saw them again. Fragile bodies wrapped in simple suits, moving with calm precision. They were nothing like the enemy who had destroyed her people. The enemy were monsters, merciless, cold, built only for war. These humans looked small, weak, like prey, yet they did not hide. They did not cower. One of them stood near the glass, watching her ship with steady eyes. She tightened her grip on her blade. Weak, yet fearless, strange, very strange. The human sent another signal. This time it was not words, but images, simple pictures glowing on her console. A blue planet. Green forests. Oceans stretching wide, a home. Their home. Her breath caught. She had not seen a living world in so long. Her planet was ash, her oceans black, her skies red with smoke. The image of Earth was like a wound pressed open. Beautiful and painful to see. Her claws tapped the screen slowly. She whispered almost to herself, "Why show me this? Why offer me beauty when I have only known war?" As if answering her, the humans sent another image. This time faces, men, women, children, smiling, laughing, holding each other close. Families, life. She felt her chest tighten. Memory rushed back uninvited. Her own people's laughter, their faces before the fire consumed them. The warmth of belonging stolen away forever. She slammed her fist against the console, snarling. "Stop it." But the humans did not stop. They sent one final message. A single line, simple and clear. "You are not alone." Her vision blurred. Her claws trembled over the controls. She wanted to shut it out, to run, to hide in silence. But she could not. She was tired of silence, tired of emptiness. She pressed the comm switch. Her voice came out low, broken, but the words were clear. Why do you call to me? You do not know me. You do not know what I am." There was silence, then the human answered, "Because no one should be alone in the dark." The words cut through her defenses like fire through paper. No one should be alone. For years, she had carried her people's memory like a shield, telling herself she needed nothing else. But in truth, she was dying inside. The silence was killing her more than any weapon could. Still, suspicion burned in her. "You say peace, but I know war. I have seen mercy turn to betrayal. How do I trust you?" The human voice came back, steady. "Do not trust our words. Watch our actions. Judge us yourself." Her eyes narrowed. Actions. She had seen plenty of actions. Usually they ended in blood. But still, a part of her wanted to see. She drifted closer. Her ship hovered within sight of theirs, like two predators circling. The humans did not fire. Their weapons, if they had any, stayed quiet. They only watched. Minutes passed. Then suddenly alarms blared in her cockpit. Her scanners lit up with red. Something else was coming. Her heart stopped. The signature was unmistakable. The enemy. The ones who had destroyed her people. Dozens of ships broke through the void, engines burning like fire. They had followed her trail, and now they had found not only her but the humans too. Her blood turned to ice. She stared at the human vessel. They were explorers, not soldiers. They had no chance against the enemy. She grabbed the controls, her voice shaking as she spoke over comms. "Leave, run, you cannot fight them. They will burn you as they burned my people." But the humans did not move. Instead, the voice returned, stronger than before. "We will not abandon you. If they want to fight, they will face us too." Her eyes widened. Madness, total madness. These humans were fragile, weak, unready for war. And yet they chose to stand. Not because they had to, but because they would not let her face the darkness alone. For the first time in years, she felt something stir in her chest. A dangerous, fragile thing, hope. The enemy ships closed in, weapons glowing. The battle was about to begin. The darkness of space burned with light. Enemy ships had surrounded them, sharp and cruel, like vultures circling prey. Their engines glowed red, their weapons alive with deadly fire. She knew them too well. These were the same monsters who had destroyed her people, the same fleet that had hunted her across the stars. Her claws trembled over the controls. Memories crashed over her like waves, cities burning, screams echoing, skies falling. And now the same enemy had found her again. But this time humans were here too. Fragile, foolish humans who should have run. Yet their ship stayed by her side. They did not flee. They did not abandon her. She snarled into the comm.
"Why are you still here?"
"You will die." The human voice came back, calm and unshaken. "If we leave you, then what do we stand for? We may be weak, but we do not run from friends." Friends. That word again. It stung like fire and yet warmed her chest in ways she hated to admit. The enemy fleet moved closer. The first shot was fired. A bright lance of energy ripped across the void, grazing past her ship. Her alarm screamed. The battle had begun. She reacted without thought. Her ship dove forward, weaving through fire. Her claws danced on the controls, instincts guiding her like a predator. Her small craft spat bolts of energy, striking an enemy's wing. The ship spun out and exploded in flame. She almost forgot the humans until she saw them. Their ship was slower, heavier, not built for war. Yet it moved with surprising skill, dodging fire, returning shots when it could. They fought like they meant it, like survival was not enough. They were protecting something greater. Her eyes widened. They fight for me, but the enemy was strong, too strong. More ships poured in. Her ship took a hit, sparks flying across the console. She cursed, smoke filling the cockpit. The human voice crackled through the comms. "Hold on, we'll cover you!" She wanted to scream at them, tell them they were fools, that they were wasting their lives. But then, something impossible happened. The human ship placed itself between her and the enemy fire. A shield of light shimmered across its hull as blast after blast struck. One of the humans had moved their vessel into the line of fire to protect her. Her breath caught. No one had done that for her in years. Not since her people. Not since the war. But shields could not hold forever. Alarms lit up her scanner. The human ship was breaking apart. She could hear shouting through their comms, hear the pain in their voices. Her claws gripped her blade tightly. She could escape. She could use the distraction to slip away. Vanish into the stars again. That was what survival demanded. That was what she had always done, yet her chest ached. If she ran now, these humans would die because of her. They had chosen to fight beside her, to shield her, even when they had no reason to. Her instincts screamed, "Run!" Her heart whispered, "Stay." She roared, slamming her claws down on the controls. Her ship spun back toward the enemy. She would not abandon them, not these strange, fragile humans who refused to abandon her. She pushed her craft into the thick of the battle. Her weapons lit the void, tearing through enemy fighters. She fought with a fury she thought she had lost long ago. For every blast that struck her, she struck back twice. The humans fought beside her, their ship smoking, their shields failing, but their will unbroken. Together they destroyed wave after wave. For a moment, against all odds, it felt possible. But then the enemy flagship arrived. The giant vessel loomed over them, its shadow swallowing the stars. Its weapons glowed hotter than suns. She knew that ship. She had seen it before on the day her world died. Her blood froze. The commander of that ship was the one who had led the slaughter, the one who had promised to wipe out her kind, the one who had laughed as her cities burned, and now he had found her again. The comm channel cracked open. A voice filled her ship, cold, cruel, mocking. So, the last warrior still crawls among the stars. Pathetic. Do you think these weak creatures can save you? Do you think you can escape your fate? Her claws dug into the armrest. Rage burned through her veins. She wanted to scream, to curse him, to promise vengeance. But before she could speak, the human captain's voice cut in. We don't care who you are. You will not touch her again. The enemy commander laughed, a sound like knives scraping stone. Then you will die with her. The flagship's weapons began to charge, light building across its hull. One strike would be enough to end them all. She stared at the human's vessel, battered and weak, yet still standing. Still refusing to run. Her heart thundered. Trust. The word felt like a foreign weapon in her hands. Could she trust them? Could she risk everything on creatures she barely knew? Her people had died because she trusted too easily once before. But if she did not trust now, she would lose them too, and then she truly would be alone. Her claws hovered over the controls. Every instinct screamed trap. But deep inside, a voice whispered something different. Maybe they are not like the others. Maybe they are different. The flagship's weapon reached its peak, glowing like a new sun. Destruction was seconds away. She closed her eyes, and for the first time in years, she chose. She opened the comm channel, her voice sharp, commanding, but alive with fire. Humans, I will fight with you. The void trembled. The enemy flagship's weapon burned brighter than a sun, gathering power to erase them all. Smaller enemy ships swarmed like dark birds around their master, cutting off every escape. She sat rigid in her cockpit, claws steady on the controls. For the first time in years, her voice carried strength, not despair. Humans, I will fight with you. The reply came instantly, fierce and full of fire. Then we fight together. The moment stretched like eternity. She stared at the glowing maw of the enemy cannon. Her people had died beneath its fire. She remembered cities shattering, skies ripping apart, oceans boiling into steam. And at the center of it all, the commander of that ship, laughing while her world died. But now she was not alone. The human ship shifted closer, shielding her battered craft. Its hull was cracked, its shields weak, but it still moved with courage. She felt the weight of their choice. Ordinary humans standing against an unstoppable nightmare, not because they had to, but because they would not abandon her. The cannon fired. A beam of raw destruction tore through the void. She gasped as it raced toward them. The humans turned their ship at the last second, taking the blast on their shields. Alarms shrieked, metal screamed, but the beam broke apart, leaving them alive. Alive. But only barely. Her chest burned with rage. Enough running. Enough hiding. She locked her weapons and roared, her ship leaping forward. She became fire, weaving between enemy fighters, her cannons spitting death. Every shot carried the fury of a world lost, every strike a scream for her fallen people. The humans joined her. Their ship was slower, heavier, but their aim was precise. Every time an enemy came too close, human fire lit the void, breaking their wings, sending them spinning into silence. They fought as if they had always been meant to fight together. Predator and protector, alien warrior and fragile explorers, two broken survivors facing the endless dark. But the enemy was endless. For every ship they destroyed, two more arrived. For every victory, another storm of fire came down on them. Her ship shook, warning lights flashing red. A blast tore across her side, ripping armor away. She cursed, forcing control back, smoke filling her cockpit. The comm crackled, a human voice sharp with pain. "We're hit! Shield's failing!" Her blood ran cold. She looked out and her heart stopped. The human ship burned. Fire spread across its hull, pieces of armor breaking loose. Yet still it fought, still it shielded her from enemy fire. And then she saw him. The one who had looked at her through the glass. The one who had raised a hand in peace. He was still there, still standing at the viewport even as alarms screamed around him. His eyes met hers through the void, calm and steady. She clenched her claws, a snarl ripping from her throat. No more. I will not lose them too. She dove into the heart of the battle, tearing through fighters like a storm. Her rage was fire, her grief a blade. She moved faster, harder, striking with everything she had left. She was not fighting only for herself anymore. She was fighting for them, for the humans who had chosen to stand beside her when no one else would. But the flagship was still there. Its shadow loomed massive and unstoppable. More weapons glowed along its hull, preparing another strike. This time, the human's ship would not survive. She forced her ship closer, past waves of fire, past fleets of enemies. She wanted one thing, the commander. The monster who had taken everything from her, her calm filled with his cruel laugh. "Look at you, little survivor, hiding behind fragile creatures. Do you think they can save you? They will die and you will watch." Her chest heaved. She wanted to answer, to spit curses, but the human voice cut across him, loud and strong. "We will not let her fall. Not today," the enemy commander sneered. "Then you will share her grave." The flagship's weapons powered again. Her eyes flicked to the human vessel. They were broken, bleeding near death, and yet they held their course. They did not retreat. For years she had believed courage had died with her people, but here, in the weakest of beings, she saw it burn brighter than any star. Her claws trembled on the blade beside her seat. She whispered softly, a vow to the ghosts of her world. "I will not fail again. I will fight for them." She turned her ship toward the flagship, engines screaming. She would strike at its heart. Alone it was suicide, but together, maybe not. She opened the comm. Her voice was raw, fierce. "Humans, I have a plan. If you trust me, we can end this." There was no hesitation in their reply. "Tell us what to do." Her eyes burned with fire. For the first time in years, someone had answered her call. For the first time in years, she was not carrying the fight alone. The void shook as enemy weapons prepared to fire again. The next moment would decide everything: death or survival. The void was fire. Her ship dove through waves of enemy fire, engines screaming, armor melting away. Behind her, the human vessel struggled to keep up, its shields flickering like dying flames. And above them both, the massive enemy flagship loomed, dark, terrible, unstoppable. The enemy commander's voice still echoed in her ears. "You will share her grave." Her claws clenched around the controls. The plan in her mind was simple but deadly. If she could strike at the flagship's core, maybe, just maybe, they could survive. But to do that, she needed time. And the humans would have to hold the enemy's fire. It was madness, she knew it. The humans knew it. And still, they stayed with her. A burst of fire shook her ship. Sparks rained across her cockpit. Warning screamed. She tasted blood in her mouth. The comm cracked open. The human captain's voice was raw, strained, but steady. "We're still with you. Tell us where to strike." Her throat tightened. She almost told them the truth, that if they followed her, they would not live. That she was dragging them into the same grave that had swallowed her people. Instead, she growled through her teeth. "Aim for the escorts. Clear my path." "Understood," the captain replied without hesitation. No questions. No fear, only trust. Her claws shook. She had not felt this weight in years. The weight of being trusted, of being followed. Once, long ago, her people had looked to her the same way, and she had failed them. They were gone. Burned into silence. What if she failed again? Her ship roared as she broke through enemy lines. Fighters swarmed her like insects, spitting fire. She tore them apart, her cannons blazing. She was a storm, her fury unstoppable. But still, more came. Behind her, the humans fought desperately. Their ship was bleeding sparks, shields collapsing, but they held their course. Every time an enemy tried to strike her, human fire cut across, forcing them back. And then, it happened. An enemy blast slammed into the human vessel. The explosion tore a hole across its side. She saw bodies thrown into the void, spinning away into darkness. Her heart stopped. The humans were dying for her, dying because they chose to follow her. Her claws froze on the controls. She could escape now. She could leave them behind, vanish into the stars again. Survival whispered to her, "Run, save yourself. You are the last. Stay the last." But another voice echoed louder. The voice of memory, her people's faces, their laughter, their vows. "We stand together until the end." Her eyes burned with tears she had thought long dead. She slammed her claws down, roaring. "No, not again. I will not abandon them." Her ship surged forward with renewed fire. She dove into the enemy lines, tearing through ships with reckless fury. The humans followed, their vessel barely holding together but still fighting. Together they carved a path toward the flagship. Her comm lit again. The human captain's voice was weak, coughing but steady. "We're losing power. Hull breaches everywhere, but we're still with you. Her chest ached. They were breaking apart. Any second now they would be gone. She made her choice. "Listen to me, humans," she growled, her voice fierce. "You have done enough. More than enough. But if you stay, you will die. Leave now. Save yourselves." Silence. Then the reply came, firm as iron. "We do not leave friends behind." Her claws trembled. That word again. Friends. She had not been anyone's friend in years. She had been a ghost, a survivor, a weapon. But now these fragile humans dared to call her one of their own. Her tears burned hot as she whispered almost to herself, "Then I will fight with you." To the end. Her ship roared as she locked onto the flagship's weak point, the vents near its massive cannon. She knew this design. Her people had died trying to strike it. Now she would finish what they could not. "Target the cannon's vents," she shouted. "Hit them with everything you have left." The humans answered with fire. Their ship unleashed its last barrage, blasting into the flagship's armor. Cracks opened. Flames burst. She dove in close, slipping through the chaos, her weapon striking deep into the vents. Explosions rippled across the flagship's surface. The giant vessel trembled, its weapon flickering, its power faltering. The enemy commander's voice returned, furious now. "You think this changes anything? You are still doomed. You cannot win." But she felt something she had not felt in years, strength. Not from her claws, not from her weapons, from them, from the humans. They had chosen her, believed in her, stood beside her. And because of them, for the first time, victory felt possible. Her ship rattled, alarms screaming, fire spreading across her controls. She knew she could not last much longer. Neither could the humans. This was the moment. Life or death. Hope or nothing. She opened the comm, her voice fierce and unshaken. "Humans, this is it. One last strike. Together." The void shook with fire. Her ship and the human vessel struck together, pouring every last shot into the enemy flagship's vents. Explosions ripped across the giant hull. For the first time, the monster bled. Its weapon flickered, its shields faltered. But victory came at a price. Her cockpit filled with smoke. Warning screamed. Metal groaned under the strain. She coughed, forcing her claws steady, refusing to fall. The human ship was worse. Hull torn apart, flames spilling into the dark, entire sections breaking away into the void. Yet even burning, it fought on. The comm crackled. The captain's voice was weak, ragged with pain. "We hit them hard, but we can't last much longer." Her throat tightened. She wanted to scream, to command them to survive. But before she could speak, another signal cut across her comm. A new voice, clear, steady, familiar in its strange human tone. "This is Earth Fleet Command. Reinforcements have arrived." Her eyes widened. Through the smoke of battle, new shapes emerged. Dozens of ships, sleek, smaller than the enemy's war machines, but bristling with light. They came in formation, engines burning, weapons locked. Humanity had arrived. The stars lit up with their fire. Wave after wave of missiles and beams cut across the void, slamming into the enemy fleet. Explosions rippled like storms. The flagship staggered, its shield breaking under the sudden storm. Her chest burned. For years she had believed courage had died in the galaxy. But here it was, rising like flame in the hands of fragile beings. Humanity had not turned away. They had come to fight. The enemy commander's voice snarled across the comm, filled with rage. "Fools, you think your numbers will save you? You are insects. You will burn like her kind." She growled back, her voice like fire. "Not this time. Not while I breathe." The humans fought with fury. Ships darted through enemy lines, outnumbered but unbroken. They moved like waves, covering each other, striking together. She joined them, her small craft weaving between human squadrons. For the first time in years, she was not alone in the fight. She was part of something larger, something living, burning, unafraid. But the cost was heavy. She watched human ships torn apart, flames spilling into the dark. Every life lost tore at her chest. These were not her people, yet their sacrifice burned in her heart as if they were. Her comm filled with human voices, sharp with determination. "Squad 2, cover the warrior. Squad 3, push through, hit their engines. We're losing power, but keep firing. Keep firing." The rising flame, that's what it was. Humanity was not the strongest, not the most powerful, but their spirit lit the void brighter than any star. And in that fire, she felt something awaken in her, something she thought had died with her people, belonging. Her claws tightened on the controls, her voice sharp and fierce. With me, strike the flagship's core. Do not stop until it falls. The humans answered without hesitation. Their ships turned as one, driving straight into the enemy's heart. The battle became chaos. Explosions ripped across the flagship, its armor tearing apart. Fighters screamed through the void, colliding in flames. The enemy still fought hard, refusing to fall, but humanity did not yield. In the middle of it all, she felt the bond grow stronger. These humans were no longer strangers, no longer fools. They were her allies, her family. Her calm flickered again. The captain's voice returned, weak but steady. We stand with you, warrior. Whatever happens, you're not alone. Her eyes burned. Tears slid down her scarred cheeks, hot and unrelenting. She whispered, voice breaking, "And I will never leave you." Her ship roared as she dove forward, her weapons tearing deep into the flagship's burning hull. Human fire joined her, blasting holes wider, flames spreading. The enemy commander screamed across the comm, furious. "You dare! You think you can destroy me? I killed your people. I will kill you too." Her eyes narrowed, her voice a blade. "You will face me, monster. Not my people, not my friends, me." The flagship's hull cracked. Its weapons fell silent. And then slowly a massive gate opened near its core. The commander was drawing her in, calling her to the final duel. Her claws gripped her blade. Her heart thundered. This was it, the moment she had lived for. The moment her people's vengeance would be decided. But this time, she would not walk into the fire alone. She opened her comm one last time, her voice steady and full of fire. "Humans, I go to face their leader. Hold the line. Whatever happens, remember this." You lit the stars again. The captain's voice came back soft but unbroken. "And we will hold until the last." Her ship turned, engines flaring. She flew straight into the gaping maw of the flagship, into the darkness where her greatest enemy waited. The gate slammed shut behind her ship, sealing her inside the enemy flagship. Darkness swallowed her. Smoke and sparks filled the massive corridors as her craft skidded along the enemy hangar bay. Metal screamed beneath her landing gear. She slammed the controls, forcing the ship to a halt. The silence after the crash was suffocating. Only the echo of alarms filled the air. She rose slowly, grabbing her blade. Its surface was scorched and dented, yet it gleamed faintly in the dim red light. This was it. She stepped out of her ship, her claws clicking against the steel floor. The hangar stretched wide, broken by fire and shadow. And then, she saw him, the enemy commander. He stood tall in the center of the chamber, armor black as night, his weapon glowing with cruel energy. His eyes burned with arrogance with the memory of her people's destruction. His voice rolled like thunder. "So the last warrior dares to crawl into my jaws. Did you believe your fragile allies could save you? They will die outside as your kind died before." Her claws tightened around her blade. Her voice was low, steady, and filled with years of rage. "I am not the last anymore." His laughter was sharp and cruel. "Pathetic. You hide behind insects. When they fall, you will be nothing again." She raised her blade. Her body trembled with scars, exhaustion, and pain, but her spirit burned brighter than ever. "They are not insects. They are fire. And with them I will end you." The duel began. Steel and energy clashed, sparks showering the hangar. His strength was overwhelming, each strike of his weapon heavy enough to break walls. She moved with speed, her blade flashing, deflecting blow after blow. He was stronger, but she was faster. Every strike she made carried the voices of her fallen people. Every parry was fueled by the faces of her human allies. Outside, the battle raged. The human fleet burned under endless enemy fire. Dozens of ships were gone, swallowed by flame. But still they held the line. Through the comms she could hear their voices faintly, shouts of defiance, cries of courage. "Keep firing. Don't let them through. We hold here. For Earth. For her." They fought not only for their survival, but for her, and the fire in their voices gave her strength. Inside the hangar, the duel grew savage. The enemy commander struck hard, his weapon slicing sparks across her armor. Pain tore through her side, hot and burning. She staggered, blood dripping onto the steel. He sneered. "You are weak. You always were. That is why your people fell." Her vision blurred, but through the haze of pain, she remembered the human's words. "You are not alone." Her claws tightened. She pushed forward, parrying his strike, driving her blade into his chest plate. Sparks exploded. He roared, slamming her back across the hangar. She hit the ground hard, gasping, her blade skidding away. The commander loomed over her, weapon raised for the final blow. "You will join your people in the dark." And then, another voice filled the hangar. "She is not alone." Her eyes widened. Across the comm channel, the humans' voices rang clear, strong, defiant. Outside, their fleet had regrouped, slamming the enemy with one final desperate push. The commander hesitated, his gaze flicking upward as explosions shook his ship. And in that heartbeat of distraction, she moved. Her claws reached, grabbing her blade. She rolled, every muscle screaming, and drove the weapon upward with every ounce of her fury. The blade pierced his chest. His roar shook the chamber, echoing like thunder. Sparks and flames erupted as his weapon fell from his hand. He staggered, his eyes wide with shock and rage. She rose, pressing the blade deeper, her voice a growl filled with fire. "My people live in me. Humanity fights beside me. And you end here." With one final cry, she tore the blade free. The commander collapsed, his armor cracking, his body crashing into the steel with a hollow final sound. Silence. The monster who had ended her world was gone. Alarm screamed through the flagship. Fire spread across its core. The great ship was dying. She staggered back to her craft, blood dripping from her wounds. Her body shook, her vision blurred, but she forced herself into the cockpit. Through the haze, she opened the comms. The human captain's voice answered, faint but alive. "Warrior, are you still there?" Her throat tightened. She let out a trembling breath, her voice soft but steady. "Yes, I am here." Cheers erupted across the channel. Human voices cried out in victory, their fleet rallying as the enemy broke. The flagship shuddered violently, explosions ripping through its hull. She launched her craft, escaping into the void just as the giant vessel tore itself apart in flame. Outside, the humans were waiting. Their ship circled her battered craft, guiding her into formation. She had no words. Only silence, only tears. The human captain's voice came again, soft but filled with warmth. "You fought for us. We fought for you. You are not alone anymore." Her claws trembled. Her eyes closed. For years she had carried only grief, only silence. But now she carried something new. "Hope," she whispered, almost too soft to hear. "Not alone. Never again." And as the flames of the enemy flagship died, the last warrior flew among humanity, not as a ghost, not as a survivor, but as one of them,